Welcome! Today we're going to be making some carnitas in the crock pot. But before I ever start cooking, I like to make sure I protect my beautiful dresses by wearing an apron. Next, I like to make sure that my cleanup is nice and easy, so I will pull over my trash can from the side of my kitchen and put it right next to where I'll be chopping and dicing so that it's nice and easy for cleanup. So I set it right here with a brand new bag so it's nice and sanitary. As for the ingredients that we're going to be using today, it's going to be lots of fruits, vegetables, and herbs and spices. The fruits and vegetables are fresh from my parents' garden in California. We have tomatoes, jalapeños, and purple onion, specifically purple onion because it really has a great flavor and helps that carnitas taste just right. As for the other ingredients, I have some minced garlic that I got at Costco, the Kirkland brand. I also have some pink Himalayan salt, some chili powder, a little bit of meat tenderizer because it really helps when shredding that meat, a little bit of regular pepper, cayenne pepper, and a dash of this Larry's carne asada seasoning. It's really good. My boyfriend bought it for me, and I like to cook with it now because it really simplifies a lot of other ingredients that I would normally put in this. But my favorite ingredient of all is Valentina. This is such a great tool to use in any Latin dish. It is amazing. It tastes great. It has hardly any ingredients at all, and it's under $2, so you really can't go wrong with this stuff. As for the meat, I got it at a store called Bash's', which is only in Arizona. It is very similar to Safeway, but a lot cheaper. This specific cut of meat is called a pork sirloin roast, bone in, because the bone in really does help that meat taste right, and it doesn't have very much fat or skin on it, so it's really easy to shred. When you are picking out your meat, you want to make sure that the white on there, which as you can see it's about right here, you want to make sure there's not too much, but you still want some for flavor. This was only $1.49 for a pound, so it was a really good steal, and this size roast will last me and my boyfriend 4 or 5 days worth of lunches. As for the measurements, I don't do traditional measurements when I'm cooking. I don't do tablespoon, teaspoon, anything like that. I really just let my senses lead me. I go by smell and the way that it looks. So when I'm cooking, you'll notice that I'm not using any specific type of tools. So keep that in mind when you're following this recipe on your own. You really just gotta let your nose guide you, because nose goes, right? As for me recording it, I am going to be doing this in time-lapse, so you don't have to sit through all the slicing and dicing and all that good stuff that I'm going to be doing, and you can kind of speed up and just watch it in basically fast forward. I will voice over so you know what I am doing. I hope you guys enjoy this recipe.
This recipe is super simple and pretty much self-explanatory. All you need to do is chop up your fruits and veggies, set them to the side, then you take your pork, you oil it up with whatever kind of oil you like to use. I prefer to use coconut oil. I also oil up my crock pot just because I don't want any sticky mess on the inside. Afterwards, I toss the pork into the crock pot, season it with all the dry ingredients. Then I add the garlic and the Valentina, rub the pork down so it gets all into the inside of the pork. Then I add all the fruits and veggies on the top, garnish with a couple circular cuts of onion just to make it look pretty, and then you're good to go.
Now that everything is all made and ready to go, you want to make sure you turn your crock pot on. And then I like to do it on low because I feel like it doesn't dry out the meat as much. And I'm going to say, let's do 8 hours, but I'll probably take it out at 7 because I feel like 6 is too little, but 8 is a little bit too much.
When I was trying to come up with what recipe to show you guys, I really wanted to come up with something that really showed the idea of fusion food, which is the idea of taking two different cultural foods, splicing them up, and combining them to make something amazing. When it comes to Mexican food, which carnitas is a very traditional Mexican dish, it truly is a fusion food, if you will. It might be a very old fusion food, but it is a fusion food. When you consider that tomatoes and jalapeños were from the New World and pork was from the Old World, they really had to create a fusion of cultures to make this amazing dish, as well as pretty much any other Mexican dish you can think of. So it is really interesting to think about the idea that many of our most beloved meals, like pizza or any, like I said, any dish that's Mexican food, and lots of Italian foods, all kinds of different stuff, wouldn't exist without this idea of fusion food. Now, in our day, we don't really look at those kind of meals or types of genres of food as fusion, but they really are. When it comes to the old world and new world, we really had to push those types of food together in order to get these awesome delicacies. So I hope you guys get some inspiration from this video. Maybe try out the recipe. I really hope you like it, and try some new fusion foods. It is so much fun to cook and to play around with everything. Thank you guys for tuning in. I'll see you next time.